everybody, what's going on? Rob Sesternino back for a very special week of Club Condo, and we are all ready, and all of my friends are plotting to bring you a very fun time today. First, here, back fresh off the heels of coming off of the Why Blank Lost podcast, it's Chappelle. Chappelle, how are you?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm back.
Yes.
Yes, I went over to Why Blank Lost, and they have a bunch of rules, Rob. I hated it. It's so many rules. It was so many regulations. You know, I don't like that. But I loved talking to David Bloomberg and Jess. Please go check that out. It was so much fun.
Okay. All right. And very excited to have here with us a special guest here for Club Condo, because today, in this very podcast, we will be hearing from the lyrical geniuses out in RHAP Nation. Of course, you could not do it without this man, the inventor of the Wand-Off, of course, with Wanda Shirk. It's Josh Wigler.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Yes. Is like okay? This is a new Josh Wigler original character. Yes.
We're building them as we go too. It just kind of came out. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm gonna call him Charles.
Charles. So, what do you think of Survivor 48?
Bud.
Oh. Oh no! I thought you loved the new era now, Charles.
No.
You're back out?
Yes.
Oh no. Oh man, no, things were going so well, okay? And then we did get a little stuck in the mud. We're here to talk about everything that's happening in the world of Survivor, and there's a lot happening at this hour.
Like what?
Yeah, we'll tell you. We'll tell you about it.
Tell me now.
Yeah.
I have no spoilers. I got nothing on the Club Condo spoilers here coming into this.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. And certainly I didn't listen to Why Blank Lost this week. So Chappelle, your takes will be original to me as well.
Yeah.
Listen,
okay.
Gotta go check it out.
Well, we're going to get into everything. Plus, stay tuned later on in this podcast. We are going to listen to a bunch of the musical submissions from. Of course, we get too many to play in the podcast.
Quick recovery, nice.
Yes, and so we will be having that later on in the podcast. If you're watching us here on video, the musical part of this podcast, due to copyright law, we will not be on video for that part. That will be up. We will save that video on our Patreon. You can go ahead and check it out. We'll post it as a free post for our patrons at robisthewebsite.com/patron if you want to jump on there and watch us on our Patreon. But in the meantime, audio listeners, keep it locked in right here, but go over to Patreon if you want to see our reactions to all the music. But Chappelle, you had tweeted during the week.
I don't think Charles is a patron.
No, what? Well, listen, Charles, that all you need is some sort of mobile device, computer, to go over to robiswebsite.com/patron to sign up for free, where you could listen to Marianne Okich answering patron questions from this week's episode. Charles likes that.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Chappelle, you had tweeted during the week that you had you couldn't wait for Monday. You couldn't wait for Club Condo because you had very hot takes.
He still couldn't wait for Monday that he had to hop on a pod on the weekend.
Yeah, I did. I had to. Yeah, I was seeing the internet, and you know me. I love when people are mad at Survivor. I love it. That's my favorite thing. Like when the people are fighting, at least they're talking about my favorite show, even if they're just like yelling about it. I don't care. I remember, look, Aubrey and Michelle, if people were burning down families, it was crazy. And I was there and I was like, yeah, more of this.
Charles,
were
you okay with that? With a Survivor Co-Wrong finale?
No.
Chrissy, Hoffbeck, and Ben was another one that tore the world apart as well.
Right.
I like it. I like the drama. And so here, people are mad. And so I didn't want to make people mad at me. I want people to be mad at everybody else. And then I can just comment on it from the sidelines. And so we've given it a few days. Hopefully people have calmed down enough to hear my spicy take.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay.
I've got I've got a gallon of milk standing by, because that's what they say. Something too spicy, you need lots of milk.
Yeah, well, the David's ready.
Mhm.
Yeah, look.
All the
Oh yeah.
all the beefcakes of Survivor 48 better be ready with milk in hand.
You
'cause it's
better
about to
be
get spicy.
ready.
Listen, it's
Oh,
not even
remember
that
when they did
spicy.
that?
Oh yeah, we forgot. We used to have a theme song here. We've been through so much in these Survivor streets. But yeah, it's not that spicy. It's just that I know they like to tussle out here in these streets, and I didn't want to be the
Mhm.
one that they jump next. I'm gonna admonish the editing of this season a little bit, and then I'm also going to put my cape on and stand up for Mitch. I don't think Mitch is who we should be mad at as a
Oh.
family. I think a lot of people are mad at Mitch taking out this, like, why didn't he go to Rocks? Honestly, I think that it's not even that great of a move to go to Rocks. I think the odds are not in his favor, and he's not even going to get out one of the main targets if he goes to Rocks. So I wasn't really impressed by that. But if you wanted a big swing, y'all just let Kyle get away with this week. Kyle just says, like, hey, I think the jury's not going to like it if I flip on Joe.
Yeah.
And so we're like, yeah, blame Mitch. I'm like, wait, it's Kyle's
Well,
fault. What are we
Chappelle,
doing?
in fairness to me, I said I thought there were 3 people responsible for the state of the quagmire giggity that we are in right now. And I
We
did say that
definitely-
Mitch was number 1 and Kyle was 2 and Shaheen was 3.
Kyle is definitely number 1. You know, like Camilla's like, okay, let's go flip. He's like, you can flip. I'm not. And everybody's
Mhm.
like, yeah, okay. Mitch, though, you know, that Mitch, he should flip. I was like, no, go get Kyle. Go get Kyle. I'm joking. Stop bullying these Survivor players. I don't like it. Bully.
What's the power rankings of who's responsible for this?
I said
think
Mitch
Kyle is
1,
number
Kyle 2. Chappelle says Kyle 1.
Mitch
I
Mitch
mean-
won, Kyle 2, and who 3?
Shaheen.
Shaheen.
Shaheen,
Yeah.
yeah.
But listen, don't be mean to the Survivor players when the editors are the ones that are really wasting
Yeah.
our time here. I have a huge issue with the editing this
But
season,
you
and
get
now I'm
there,
mad.
Chappelle,
Can I
can I
media handles for the editors?
Oh, I don't know.
No, no,
I
they don't
add
have
them
that.
directly.
Chappelle,
find
can I
them?
push back on that though?
Sure.
Respectfully,
Yes, of
Um,
course.
that I've actually been rather impressed with the internet at large. That I feel like that isn't this a beautiful thing that we've seen where that the people online are not disparaging a person for any sort of like anything about their like physical characteristics or any sort of like bullying of anybody's like conditions or anything like that, and people are only jumping all over people for the quality of their gameplay. Like, isn't that, isn't there something beautiful about that?
That's the dream. That's the dream that Cowboy had. Yeah. No, I see that they're using that to then go and jump and then talk about other people's characteristics. They're like, you made a bad game move or a move I didn't like. Thus, I'm gonna talk about your mama. It's gotten really personal out here in the
They're
Survivor
talking
Street.
about the mamas.
It's mother time, Rob. They're on
Well,
it. Okay.
it is
These people-
Mother's Day coming up on Sunday.
It is. It is
Mommy.
Mother's Day. Yeah, but listen.
Happy
I
Mother's
really
Day,
do-
Charles.
Yeah.
Thank
Happy Mother's Day, Charles.
you.
Yeah, I really just have an issue with the editing. I really feel like there's been so much where we've been having to make it up this season. Like they're leaving votes that we don't see anybody who we don't know why people are making certain votes. They didn't do that to us in the past. It was very formulaic a lot of times, but at least we weren't having to like play Nancy Drew to make this thing happen. And so it's getting a little odd to me. And then in this season, in this episode, I mean, we saw the rise and fall of Star almost immediately. All these people have a problem with Star. And I don't even think most of them have said her name in any confessionals this season. So I feel like they're leaving a lot out to give us. Was that a CGI bumblebee in front of Joe's face during that challenge?
You think
Like,
that
what-
was AI?
I definitely
That
do.
was
I
a
definitely do.
fly.
I
A
think
fly.
it was but fly with an A and an I. I just feel like that it's not the same. That didn't
Yeah.
even look real
Wasn't
to
that
me.
a Black Mirror episode once, Josh? That the
An AI
like
fly?
the bug that was like the bees.
I know it was a Nicolas Cage movie.
Mhm.
If it was a Black Mirror,
Mhm. This is a Jeff Goldblum movie where he was the fly.
I remember that one. That was gross. He like throws up. He eats the throw up.
Mhm.
I don't need 90-minute episodes. We're going to spend 15 of it with
Oh, I
a
thought you meant
fly
90
flying
minutes
around on
episode.
people.
Yeah.
No, that too.
I'll tell you what. You know who loved it? My mom.
Oh,
Mom's
yeah?
like,
Fly?
oh my god. Sometimes my mom is a huge Joe fan, and I talked to her this weekend about it, and she is loving the season. She says it's great, and she's like, it's just sometimes it's nice to see just a nice guy doing well. So that if this season has one fan, it's my mom. She's loving it. She's
Wow.
very happy. Nobody make a move.
Shout out to all the fan out there.
So does that
Yes.
mean for this season, Joe is mother?
A mother's favorite.
Is
Yes.
Joe
Mother's
mother
favorite.
of the season?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Maybe.
Although, yep. My mom does
Maybe.
always seem to root for Survivor Joe. She
Yeah.
is always taken with Survivor Joe's. But
What's
that
the
being
hit miss
said-
rate on that one?
yeah.
You know,
Well,
I know
what do you
some of the Joes are bringing down the average.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got Del Campo in the mix, so we're ramping
You-
all the way back up.
That's
All right.
true. I wonder if we did the math on that. Are we more pro Joe than not Joe on Survivor Joes? I need to go see the I need to see the numbers. I need to go
Charles,
look.
any other Survivor Joes come to mind?
Kentucky Joe?
Kentucky Joe.
Yes. Yeah. And that, well,
Jodel.
maybe we get him on the podcast next year.
Joe Mena?
Yeah, Joe Mena,
Yeah.
Joe Dowdle.
Oh, Charles actually told me that he's a big fan of Dondi. Joe Manganiello.
Joe Manganiello. Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. So, I mean, are there any other Joeys or Josephs or people that we're not thinking of?
Not one that I would speak of. No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, how about this? Okay. So, Mitch has been at the center of a firestorm online.
Oh.
And so, Mitch did clap back a few different times this week. Let's talk about it here on Club Condo, talking about what people are saying on social media. Mitch said earlier this week that he said, somebody said yet another episode of Mitch saying he can't catch a break after doing nothing and winning nothing.
Oh my god.
Sounds like the Fishy Award. Okay.
Yeah.
And
So war for
then-
losers.
yeah, Mitch responded, "Sorry, my back is broke from carrying my tribe in the team portion of the game." Taking a page
Oh.
out of Say's book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, what did Say say?
She said
Well,
that
her
her back is
was
broke
broke from carrying the entire season.
the
Right.
Oh.
season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
She might have a point.
I think so.
Mhm.
Yeah. The episodes without Say have not hit the same as the episodes
No,
with Say. I would say
definitely
that.
not. Definitely not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, okay, this is where I have to. Okay, I'm look, Chappelle. This is now. Okay. We were having fun. Now I'm going to be serious. Okay.
All right.
All right. So we have to talk
Yeah.
about something. One of the RJP podcasters, a longtime host of our MTV Challenge Wrap Up, Brian Cohen, of course, he podcasts with Ali Lasher, that he had tweeted a thought on Friday that Brian Cohen has never gotten into any hot water on social media earlier. One thing Survivor should take a page out of the Bravo's playbook is if they need to show receipts to clown their contestants. When Mitch gets voted out, flashback to him not making a move here. Eva targeting Star, flashback to her being gifted an idol. Stop protecting them in the edit. And Plainview Sue, a totally unaffiliated reality
Sue?
TV fan, said, "I like it."
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that that's a bad take.
Yeah.
I think it's not like Survivor hasn't done this before. I'm thinking this was like the entirety of the Worlds Apart finale, wasn't it? It was just like,
Oh yeah,
receipts.
Dan Foley. Yeah, Dan Foley live feeds is what we got that episode. Yeah, Brian Cohen again picking on reality TV contestants who are not bothering him. This man.
Anyone?
Oh no, you have to know Brian Cohen. You don't see if you know Brian Cohen's tweets. His tweets are subtle trolls, and he targets these like underrepresented populations, specifically reality TV stars, and tries to make them feel bad. I remember when he came for the sequester people. He's gotten into it with the Big Brother people. if you
Banu.
know- yeah, with Banu. I mean, Brian Cohen. This is just like,
Charles
this is
loved
his
Bond, by the
playbook.
way.
Mm-hmm.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, Charles loved Banu.
Charles
Brian
was
Cohen
one of
did
the
not.
Yeah.
millions of hearts that were claimed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I don't think it's a bad
This-
take, though.
this post earned a response from Mitch,
Okay,
Okay.
of course it did.
who said, "Brian Cohen, pipe down over there.
Say, chill out.
I'm currently boycotting RHAP. Let that be known."
Wow.
He don't even. Brian
Wait a
Cohen don't
second.
even cover this
Hold
show.
the phone. Hold the phone. Now,
Yep.
I'm not big on the social media anymore. However, I do want to say that a couple of things were on the video version. You've got the tweets pulled up. A couple of
Mhm.
things caught my eye immediately. Rob, if you would, could you quickly shift back to the Brian Cohen tweet? Just like click back
Oh.
into the Brian Cohen tweet. It's very
Yes,
important
okay,
that
hold
we can
on.
get back there.
Go back there.
I just want to
take me back to God's country.
Yeah, I want to go
No,
back.
God.
I want to go back to Brian Cohen's tweet. Is the thing that I'd like to check back on one more time. Okay, so Brian Cohen's tweet. Some good engagement on Brian Cohen's tweet. 11 responses, 41 retweets, 1.4 thousand likes, 26 bookmarks.
Yeah.
Can you go to Mitch's tweet?
Sure.
Okay, the stats on Mitch's tweet: 4 responses,
Yeah.
a single retweet.
I mean, Josh,
4 likes.
I think you're being a little unfair that you're comparing like apples and oranges here. Brian Cohen has a much bigger following.
Mitch is on television.
Yeah, but that's Brian Cohen.
Nevertheless,
Right.
What else I would say about this is that's fine. You'd think that like Mitch, even with a smaller following, would have a little more engagement than he got on that tweet. Which is to say, we here at RJP, I don't think we got anything to worry about.
Are we boycotting Mitch as well?
no. Why would
No,
we
there's no
boycott
need to
Mitch?
boycott Mitch.
He's on the show that we cover. I mean,
There's-
and if Mitch, please come back.
Come
Don't
back.
boycott RHAP,
Come on.
Mitch.
Well, I
Don't
got my Mitch cape on.
please, Mitch.
No.
Don't do this to Mitch. We need
Mitch.
you.
Mitch,
Don't do this to us.
We do.
Mitch.
I support Mitch. Brian Cohen always does this. This is his favorite thing to do, is to go pick on the reality TV people, and they haven't realized it yet. They just fall into his trap. We really need to start
Come on,
weaponizing
Mitch.
Brian Cohen a little bit more. You
Here's
know,
what I would say. Mitch,
Don't leave us high and dry.
Mitch, don't boycott RHAP. You need us.
No, we
You
need
us.
Mitch.
You need us.
Oh, what do you mean, Josh? What is he? What does Mitch need?
Yeah,
us
what do you mean,
for?
Charles? Yeah.
Yeah,
You need us.
yeah.
No boycott.
Yeah.
We're good for you. We're good for Mitch.
We're good
Yeah.
for you, Mitch.
Yeah,
You
Mitch,
need
we
us.
got you. Yeah,
The new
Listen.
slogan I'd like to test out for RHAP. RHAP, you need us.
you need. Yeah, we.
Great. Yeah, we like you all out there too. We need you. You need us.
Mhm.
You need us.
Yeah.
That's
You
what I
need
want
us.
to say. All right,
Boycott Brian Cohen.
You
Just
need
boycott Brian
Yeah.
Cohen altogether. You know, it's okay. It's like it'll be all right. Bye.
elevate Brian
Mitch.
Cohen. If Brian Cohen has that kind of dichotomy and like the disparity of follows and engagements to Mitch, I think promote him. Let's
Yeah.
promote Brian
on.
Cohen
Is he-
live on
is
the
he the-
call.
Hold on. I have there's somebody at the podcast door, Chappelle.
Oh no, people at the kickback. Okay, who do we have at
Yes.
the kickback?
Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, we have okay, hold on.
got a doorbell?
Okay. Wait, hold
Oh,
on.
yeah.
It's Mitch is here. Mitch is here.
Mitch.
Mitch, will you please end your boycott of RHAP? And he says,
Oh,
no.
no.
Come
Never
on,
mind.
Mitch.
Come on, Mitch.
Mitch, come on. No, RHAP.
This reaction
Mitch.
video is iconic.
No.
Like, this
Come
is
on.
literally.
Do it. Come back. Please.
Come on,
Please,
do it
Mitch.
now.
Please.
Come back.
No.
Yeah.
He said no. That's iconic. Look, if you're gonna go on reality TV, at least come out with a good reaction video. You know, that's what you got to do.
He won't. Yeah. Boycott.
Bitch, come
back
to RHAP now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been a big video that's been going around.
I love
That,
that
It's a good
video.
one.
Look,
It's a good
this
one.
is like
I love that video. That forever will be a gift that keeps on
Yeah.
giving. A
I
gift
mean,
that keeps on
how
giving.
many survivors have that?
No,
Not a
Mitch,
lot.
Mitch is a king for that for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
Like that's
That's
gonna
gonna be
live
iconic.
forever. And that's like that is good stuff. Like whatever you want to say about Mitch's game, whatever you want to say about Mitch, what Mitch is choosing to boycott and not boycott here in the year 2025, we'll never be able to take that gift away from him.
No.
And
The
it'll be a
gift that keeps on giving.
a gift that keeps on
Gift.
gifting is right.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So we'll see ultimately what happens in terms of the final 7, if it makes a move. And just to put a finer point on the Mitch thing, I can see what you're saying, Chappelle, that maybe it's not such a great move for Mitch to go to Rocks at the final 8, but I just did not like how he was so indignant about Star coming to him, and that it's like, Star, are you crazy? I would never work with you. I would rather I'm not like Mitch, like, could we try to figure out a way to make this work? Because it seems like you're just sitting on your hands.
Yeah, Mitch, go back to Kyle and say, Kyle, please You know, because I really think that the flip is perfect. The flip needs to
Mhm.
happen, but flipping at
And
4,
it can happen at 7. It can
yeah,
happen at 7.
but flipping at 4-4 or making a tie at 4-4 when Joe and Eva would both be immune in that round.
Mhm.
What's the best case scenario for him? Mary goes,
Right.
you know, like
So- So if Mitch was like, yeah, like, okay, Star has a plan. I like, that's not my plan. I've got
Yeah.
a different plan.
I got a
Like, okay,
different
fine.
plan.
All right, cook. But just the fact is like, hell no, I would never work with you.
Wait.
Well, that's the worst idea I've ever heard.
What's the flip? What's the flip plan? You think is the flip plan? Kyle, Camilla, Mitch, Mary.
I
not,
well, I
not
think
if
that
Kyle
the plan.
is standing on business and saying, I'm not going to vote out Joe. I'm not going to do it. You know, how are they going to bring him in?
Well,
Mhm.
he knows he's got to do it eventually.
He's got to do it, right?
Who, Kyle or Shaheen?
Yeah, he's got to flip. Kyle, come on, Kyle.
He
With
doesn't
respect
have
to
to.
Shaheen,
I mean,
who I think is a great character and has provided great entertainment, he has demonstrated very little. I feel like actually rather early on this show has been, if we're talking about receipts, I think like the show has been like clowning Shaheen's decision making from at least since the Thomas vote.
Yeah, explain.
So I'm expecting. Well, in the Thomas vote, that entire episode, he's talking
Yes.
about how like he's got this right read on all these people, and he's totally wrong. And I feel like that's happened a couple of more times. I don't have the receipts on that.
yeah, I don't.
personally, a
I don't
fan.
know of those other times that are beyond the time. Yes, he definitely got it wrong on the Thomas vote, but I think he's been on the right side of the vote. I think on every other vote since then.
I think he's been on the right side of the vote, but I think that there have been like moments of
I think that in the
raw
edit,
fidelity to the Joe and Eva thing that like with Kyle, like that just popped off this week. I
Mhm.
think of like the I can't turn on Joe, which was disappointing for sure
Mhm.
to hear. And I say that as somebody I like Joe a lot, I like Eva a lot. I just do think like it's gotten a little boring. And it feels like it's going to be a frog march to the finish, and I'm not super here for that.
Yeah.
With that being said, I feel like Kyle is the one who like we've been really invested in his like sort of like undercover alliance with Camilla this entire time. Like he's the one that I'm watching to make the move. I don't know that I'm expecting a move from Shaheen at this point.
I feel like I was expecting it more from Kyle, but Kyle told us this week that he's really thinking
Right.
maybe he doesn't think he can do it. He doesn't think the jury will like it.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe he'll let Shaheen be the one to make the move, right? Shaheen,
Yeah.
Camilla, Mary, and Mitch all go 4 strong after one of Joe or Eva, who's ever left. But if Joe and Eva are both immune, which they really could be, considering she has 2 public advantages, and Joe is probably the most likely person to win immunity, Shaheen might be next in line anyway. So who knows?
I do think the one thing that could open up the season could be that if we get where, Shaheen decides to make a move on Kyle. Like I had thought that Kyle would make a move on Shaheen. If Shaheen decides like, hey, okay, this is the week, I'm going to make I can't touch Joe. I can't touch Eva. I'm going to make my move on Kyle. And then Camilla rats out Shaheen to Kyle. I do think that could open some things up in a Kyle versus Shaheen situation.
Yes.
Where I think that Kyle, I think, would actually have the upper hand there. And maybe, but may end up saying like, hey, Joe and Eva, let's vote out Shaheen. He turned against the 4.
And if I may, to yes and that a little bit, what if Shaheen is not actually targeting Kyle? And what if
Yes.
this
Well-
is Camilla saying like, you let me do the dirty work, your name
Mhm.
will be clear, you'll be fine. Camilla has invented these little lies along the way.
Yes.
This would be a very good one. I do think if the flip is going to happen, it's gotta largely happen because Camilla did some witchcraft, which I think she's super capable of. She's been a very shrewd player so far.
And similarly, that was kind of the plan that they came up with during the Cedric vote, where Cedric got voted out, where that they were going to make up that Shaheen had an idol and then tell David that. But according to David in the exit interview, he said that was not really that likely of a plan. That did not get that far down the road.
Unlikely.
Yeah, our Davids are fighting though. David Bloomberg and David Kinney have been fighting all season.
I don't
my
like
God.
Bloomberg's odds in that fight, to be honest. with you.
Bloomberg
Over
Bloomberg
what?
got him on the ropes. David Milk David, he is the one who has been giving his exit press. David Bloomberg's whole thing is he gotta go dive into the exit press, dive into the interviews, the secret scenes to find out why this person lost. Well, a lot of stuff David Kenny is saying is not quite lining up. He's saying like, I was never going to go against the, the physical and the integrity alliance or whatever. Then why did you have Mary on the outs? Like, on the periphery? Why did you have Star that you were working on? It's like a lot of the things that he's saying aren't really checking out for Bloomberg, and Bloomberg's been on his neck. I didn't really have a dog in the fight recently, but I went on YX Lost, and now I'm like, I'm Team Bloomberg. Yeah, get him again. Whack him, David. David B.
Okay.
Yeah, not the other David.
No. Here's another tweet from this week. Mary had a post where Mary ends up taking this clip from her conversation with Joe, where Joe said, well, I so appreciate, I'm sorry, Mary said to Joe, I'm so appreciate you telling me this. Mary replied, narrator, and what she really meant was she's incredibly insulted. You thought she would buy a single millisecond of this convo.
Wow. Now that's spicy. I hope Joe's got some milk for that. Wang.
I just feel like, I just feel like when something like this happens in Survivor, it's always very shocking to me that you would come to somebody and tell them you're about to vote them out, or that you want them to vote for you. I'm thinking
that's how Joe and Eva do it.
Yeah, but like that's very surprising to me, because for a a good Survivor player like Mary seems to be, she's gonna like, okay, I'm going to take that and I'm not going to react. But if it was me, the spirit of Jatia would have just entered my body, and I'd be like, okay, I'm next, bet. And then there goes the rice. Like you think we had a rice negotiation. We're really gonna be fighting for our lives in a second, because so I'm just fifth, and there's nothing I can do about it. And y'all are telling me now at 8? Crazy. That's crazy. Have fun. As Shaheen will say, welcome to the party. It would be such a bad idea to tell me something like this. But hey, that's on Eva and Joe. They're winning the season right now. So what do I know?
Okay. The person who was out this week, it was Star, and Star got to grace us with My Enemies Are Plotting. Chappelle, what was your review of My Enemies Are Plotting?
Somehow I missed it. So I heard the song, but when it started to play, I just kind of zoned out. Like I blacked out a little bit, because it just felt like this isn't happening. This isn't happening on Survivor. We're not doing this right now. We did not just drop a hip hop beat on top of a Survivor confessional. We didn't do that, but we did. We really did. And so I actually have never heard the song. Like it was playing. I know it was happening, but somehow I just got caught up in the frenzy of what was going on, and then it was over. And so I know she rapped, but I couldn't tell you how it sounded. Yeah, definitely cannot remember anything of that moment. It was so just outside of Survivor that it just caught me off guard. Like, Rob, what was your reaction? I don't know. I don't know.
It. I mean, I thought it was so great, especially the shot of her, like where the drone shot of it was so good. I mean, there's never been anything like that in the show. I mean, Josh, not since the Chris Noble Ponderosa video have we ever seen anything like that.
Yeah, and that's an extracurricular activity. This was a canonical addition. Survivor's loving like a music video in its new era. Whether it was like the
guys' night,
playing with the ball.
Yeah, and then like I said, I've been complaining about the editing this season. I have a lot of complaints about it, but I guess I do like that Survivor is doing a little bit different when it comes to like isolating these little pop culture moments they have in the show. Like Josh said, the Playing with the Boys moment, but then also Andy's He's All That moment. They're stepping away from the seriousness of the show and giving us a little levity sometimes. I just wish that like you do that and also still give us a good episode. And I don't know if they've done both this season.
You know what? Here's what I'll say. Oh, wait, you were playing a clip. Play a clip.
I said, my enemies are plotting. What? My enemies are plotting. But where they at? Though my enemies are plotting. On me?
Wow.
Yeah. So good.
I think the Survivor producers knew that this was Wandoff week. So that was like Survivor's official submission to the Wandoff. I'd give a hat.
Oh, see,
hat for that.
They've finally acknowledged Club Condo. And now they're acknowledging the Wandoff. Survivor.
They've been acknowledging the one.
Yeah, they're in on it. They're in our listen. RHAP is basically just like starting to overlap in Survivor, and I can't tell where one is starting and one is ending.
Why I'm telling Mitch, don't boycott us. You need us.
Yeah, you need us.
That being said, like I loved that from Star. I think that was great from Star. Very fun from Star. Where I'm kind of where you're, and like earlier in the season where Shaheen's doing like his, his rendition of Ancient Voices or whatever. I feel like where you're losing me is when Probst is trying to like art direct them into a Wandoff.
Well, you're saying that, My Enemies Are Plotting was the official Survivor rendition for the Wandoff, but it was not the only musical moment of the episode. Let's listen to Jeff Probst tell you what's worth playing for.
Fried chicken and waffles.
Oh my God.
Let me say it again.
Oh.
Fried chicken and waffles. Say it with me. Fried
chicken and waffles. Fried chicken and waffles. Fried chicken and waffles. Fried chicken and waffles. Come on, Chappelle.
Absolutely.
Fried chicken and waffles.
No.
They're savory. They're sweet. They're savory. They're what you want to eat. They're savory. They're sweet. Savory. They're sweet. Come on, Charles. That's how you do it on Survivor, baby.
No. Oh man, Charles hated it.
Yeah.
He hated that.
Hated it.
Oh,
Hated that. Wow, Charles.
I would have ripped my skin off and run and jump into the ocean if Jeff told me to chant fried chicken and waffles.
They're savory. They're sweet.
That was difficult.
They're what you want to eat.
Like that felt like really inflicted. That felt like that felt like you were like, what are you supposed to do? Like I'm in the room with you. I don't have a way out. You're telling me to do this. I guess I will. It didn't feel good.
No,
I just got babe texted, by the way.
Come on. That was so good, right?
First babe text of
Come
the
on,
Wandoff
Mitch, do it. Savory. They're sweet. They're what you want to eat. Come on, Mitch.
No,
come on. You're gonna boycott RHAP, but still do that?
God dang it.
We must be awful
like
here.
it. I didn't like it.
Loving that.
I feel like the fried chicken and waffles. Now, I'm not a curator of what makes it into the top 5 or not on the Wandoff, but I do think that this would have been an honorable mention at best.
I don't like it. I didn't like it. It's like Sophie Clark is in South Pacific and coach is like, pray. And she's like, okay.
Like that. That's a good point.
I'm like looking around like, I guess just don't help me out.
The cult leader is telling me to do a thing. I got to do it. I just have to.
Yeah. Okay.
What's wrong with
silly, and that's great. And I do like that the show is getting more experimental and silly and stuff. And what I do love is that like Probst is fully in like his dad era, and like he doesn't really care if he's embarrassing the kids, but the kids are getting a little older, and like so there's like some secondhand embarrassment. He's like, dad. And I think that that's sort of what this was. But he's still long hair, don't care here in the new era. So good for Jeff, like just expressing himself. I do feel like this time the expression of himself felt almost like an infliction of himself upon the rest of us. And that I didn't love as much.
Okay. All right.
Josh, do you think for 50 he gets more wacky? Does Jeff lean all the way in?
No, I don't think so.
Should we vote on this? Is this in the hands of the fans? Should we vote?
Yes.
The waffle song, should it come back?
See,
the waffle song?
Oddly, yes. Oddly, I do think so. I'm desperate to see Jeff try to make like Colby Donaldson do that. Like Colby's like, absolutely not, Jeff. No way.
I said we're ready. We're ready to play the challenge.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I got a song for you. No, I don't want that.
No.
Just a little piece of it? No, I don't.
I don't want any chicken, damn, or waffles. Damn.
Like I want to see him try to like get some of these like some of the legendary people you would assume are gonna make it onto 50. Like do that. Because I don't think it's gonna go that way. I don't think it'll go like we'll get a really different result. And I actually do want to see that result. That result I want to see.
Yeah, that is fair. I feel like that there is probably like it depends on how many people from the old school versus the new school there are in Survivor 50.
big vibe shift potentially, by the way. Like, it's
Yes.
not just like our first returning player season in a very long time. It's also Jeffrey's first returning player in a very long time. First time since New Era launch. And I think that there's a lot of reverence for Jeffrey and Survivor writ large amongst the New Era people. And not to say that some of those people won't be back here, but there will also be older era people who I don't think are going to have like that same reverential thing. I think Jeff's going to be sad about it. I think that the vibe is going to shift. I think it's going to be very
Okay.
interesting.
All right. So let me shift the vibe a little bit to something else. Of course, a different legend of Survivor, Boston Rob, that he, of course, had such a great run on the Traders this past season. And so because of his newfound fame, Boston Rob has been making all sorts of different commercials that we've seen, Chappelle. We saw him on Dunkin' Donuts. We saw him talking about, what was it, Hardee's that he recently did?
Oh,
But
yeah.
now, check out that Boston Rob has now partnered with Degree. Have you seen this?
No.
Okay, Josh, have you seen this?
Yes.
Yes, Charles. Okay, everybody, feast your ears on this. Here is Boston Rob for Degree antiperspirant. Okay, here we go. Here is Boston Rob Mariano.
I want you all to know that I know what's going on. At first, I thought it was just me. But as I started digging, I saw the TikTok comments, the Reddit threads. Turns out I wasn't alone. I don't know what Degree was thinking, treating us so disrespectfully. And then I found it. An entire army of people calling out Degree for switching up their beloved Cool Rush scent. That's when I knew I wasn't crazy, and I had to do something about it.
So, Chappelle, did you know about all the people that were up in arms over Degree Cool Rush came off the store shelves?
Up in arms. I see what you did there. No, I didn't know. I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah, and I'm a Degree guy. That I guess
Oh.
I didn't realize that they changed the flavor.
Oh my God. Did you see the image of him? Like, so if you're not watching, he's fully Godfathered out.
Yeah.
He's full of Marlon Brando. There's this great shot of him going like this. This is his like little like deodorant. And it's just such a weird little angle. Boston Rob. They don't even say his name in this. He's just that, like, you just know watching
thought
this.
you had your own Brando in the New Era. No, screw that guy.
Yeah. That Cool Rush scent.
He wasn't cool. He was talking about Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm the
didn't know
Cool
about
Rush Brando.
I didn't know about the Cool Rush scent at all, actually.
Yeah,
I'd never
Cool
heard of
Rush. It's
Degree
very
before.
refreshing.
Have you
Check
used
it out.
Are you?
Every day since 1997.
Yeah.
Okay, since
You want to be
Degree was
Boston Rob
invented.
so bad. You want to be
Wow,
Boston
there's
Rob
an
so
alternate
bad.
history
Yeah,
where
I'm sweating him. Not anymore, baby.
alternate history where the different
We
Rob,
could
the
have
other Rob,
bonded over
goes
Cool
out.
Rush. I should have
Yeah.
brought that up on Survivor All Stars. Hey, you Cool Rush? Would you Degree?
Boston Rob is an Italian icon now. This
Yeah.
is incredible. This
He's
is incredible.
Now, always. He's out.
has
he-
been.
he never
Like he's like
left.
top 5 though. Like I mean, like look at him. Like they could have gotten a legit actor for this, and they were like, no, let's go get Boston Rob.
Let's get Boston Rob for this.
Yeah,
Wow.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
way you
check-
just called Boston Rob an illegitimate actor.
I did, and I
Mhm.
stand it. I stand by it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hold on. Let's go to this rap.
Let's just say I made them an offer they couldn't refuse.
Look at this
And
man.
it's back. You're welcome.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob.
Look
Hey.
at him.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, a
And then,
thespian.
of course, all the great comments. Brittany Hayes, Carolyn, and then Jonathan Young said, "This is art, Mr. Rob. You were made for this part."
Oh, Jonathan, give it a
Rob.
rest. Give it a rest,
Rob.
Jonathan. We get it. We
Mr.
understand.
Rob.
Mr.
Yeah,
Rob.
that was great. Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
yeah.
Good
Can I
comment.
call you Mr. Rob?
If you want to, I don't love it. But
Okay.
Do
I don't mind
people-
if Jonathan does it. But
Are people calling you like are like Dominic's friends and Anthony's friends are like, hi, Mr. Sesternino?
no, none of them
that
have ever called me
happening yet?
Mister before.
What do they
Not
call
yet.
you?
What up, Rob?
What do they call you when they come over?
They're like Dominic's dad.
Yeah.
That's
No,
the whole
none of
thing.
them yet have called you. Hi, Mr. Sesternino. Thanks for having me over. I love your house, Mr. Sesternino.
I'm mostly upstairs. I don't really see the people that come in and out.
Oh,
So maybe
I'll
God.
talk to these
you know,
kids.
So then instead, like you're like the scary guy.
I doubt that. Also,
You're
Yeah.
out of sight, out of
Mhm.
mind. To,
yeah,
to,
that part. Yeah,
to those children and those children alone, are you a frightening figure on this earth?
I really don't think so.
Yeah.
Not really my vibe.
I'm kind of
Okay.
scared of you, Mr. Sesternino. I don't know.
All right. Okay.
Hard
So
to be around you. You've got podcast stuff.
now who's this? This is what happened to Charles.
This was me when I was a boy.
Well, young Charles.
Young
It's Charlie.
Young Charles. He's got decisions to make.
Young child.
Okay.
Okay.
All
This
right.
was me when I was scared as a kid.
So
So nervous. You can call me
Charles,
Mr.
don't be nervous. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do.
Mr.
We're
Charles.
gonna, if you're watching the YouTube video, we're gonna leave you here because
Oh,
what we're going to do is that we are going to switch over to do the Wand Off. Podcast listeners, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll jump right into the Wand Off. For you here on YouTube, go to robinswebsite.com/patron for everything for the Wand Off. Okay, so let's get ready for the Wand Off when we come back right after this.
Don't.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.